மறக்காம சர்ப்ரைஸ் பண்ணுங்க. Thank you.
The last but very important case when the queen is better than the free light pieces is the one in which the opponent's king is weak. This is something that the queen enjoyed when she was playing against the two rooks, and this is something that the queen is in general enjoying, because we know that the main tactical idea behind the queen is some double attack, double threats. And whenever the king is opened, there are plenty of opportunities for that. The game that we are about to see is the game Shirov against Topalov from the Leon men plus computer repeat match. Shirov has played a line with sacrifice of a piece in the Sveshnikov, and they reached this position almost by force. It is considered to be better for white, and indeed, because of this king on c7, white has the better chances, even though, as you will see, things were not that clear yet. So rook a b1, the rook is taking the open file, bishop a6, rook fd1. All the white pieces are very active, and he's about to create threats. Obviously that pawn on f5 is now hanging. If black, for instance, plays here rook b8, after rook takes b8 and king takes b8, white is about to take this pawn, then the other one on h7, and we know what happens when one of the sides is, when the side with the queen is having pawns, they are moving forward, take away the breath from the pieces, and they win. But Topalov played in a better way. He defended with rook f8. This move is setting a trap. Now if white takes on h7, black manages to coordinate his pieces and to even create perpetual check after rook h4. Queen g6, rook g4. First of all, this rook is going on the g file, and after bishop e2, this piece is also coming closer, which allows black a chance, if he likes to, even to do a perpetual check like that with bishop g4, or else if white likes, he can go with the king on h1 and get mated, but I don't think that he would like to do that. Anyway, so queen b3 was played in the game. Much better move. Queen b3, and after rook b8, the queen went now on e6. Once that the black pieces were discoordinated, again we're having some problems with the f5 pawn and the h7 pawn. Topalov didn't solve the problems in the best possible way. Actually, okay, the move that he played in the game, bishop d3, is still good, but bishop c4 was another possibility to win some material. After bishop d3, the only move for white is rook f1, and this is leading to a position where the queen would be fighting the rook, the bishop, and the knight, but white is having plenty of pawns, and even though it's not three light pieces, it is rook and two light pieces, this is still favorable for white, who has a clear plan of advancing his pieces on the king side. While bishop d3, the move that was played in the game, allowed rook d1, and after f4, the queen went on d5. That was a strong move. Rook c1 was played after bishop c2, and rook e2 was answered a4. And that's the thing that you need to remember above all from this game. Whenever you're having the opponent's king vulnerable, like it is here, one thing that we are trying to do is to advance the pawns on either side of the board, on both sides of the board actually, and to stretch the defense of the opponent's pieces. That's precisely what Shirov is trying to do. If now black takes it, he would lose after queen c4, as rook c2 is answered simply rook b1, and his bishop is trapped, and we have seen another double attack in that line, as usual. So therefore Topalov played e4, now a5, bishop d3, rook a1, and things are getting very, very difficult for him. Things are getting very difficult for him because now the pawn is ready to jump further on a7, on a6, and then on a7 after some preparation. and if any of the light pieces is coming back to defend, there will be other trouble coming. Here this is the weakness of the b6 square, so that's a very nice attacking stepstone for the queen. The queen is going on b6 and then it will take the bishop. If instead of that bishop h4 is played, with the idea to attack the pawn on f2, then simply g3, and after all these trades the pawn is ready to march. And finally, what was played in the game, rook b2. This also didn't help because of, well, first of all, a6 here is also nice, as bishop takes a6 is definitely not forcing white to take it and to get mated, but instead of that he can take on e4 and then the pawn on h7 with good winning chances as well. Or the other pleasant choice that he has is to first, probably he can even open some air for the pieces. Okay, in the game he decided to play c4. That's even better. And now a6, the threat of a6 is renewed. Topalov brought the rook to defend it with rook b7. If rook b4, there will be a6. And on knight a7, the defender of the black king is finally out. White can finish the game with queen a8 followed by a7. So this spoiled the coordination between the black king and its defenders. While if bishop takes c4, then there is the small trick, queen takes c6, but a very nice one. Another pawn is coming into queen and white is winning in this case. So therefore rook b7 more or less forced, but rook b7 was answered a6, rook a7. That's precisely the situation that white was looking for. His rook and his pawn are active, contrary to this rook on a7, and all he needs to do now, once that the situation on the queen's flank is so much in his favor, is to hit hard on the other side. And after f3, black's position falls apart. The game finished like that: knight e5, knight takes e4, rook, bishop takes c4. Okay, then rook c1 is coming. White is taking material. He took on c4, rook c6. Now again he's stretching the defense. King d8. He takes the pawn on h7, even with temples. Queen takes h7, rook c5. This queen went on f7, rook c1 check, king f2, rook c8, and after queen f5 check, king c7 and queen e6. Black didn't see any defense yet, and he resigned. The most important things about the positions with three light pieces versus a queen: usually the pieces are stronger, because they can unite their efforts against the enemy pawns easily, and they can be also placed on good outposts where the queen can do nothing to them, or they can defend each other very well without allowing the queen to do anything to them. So try to reach these positions with the pieces rather than with the queen in general. But note that the queen can be also stronger if you have weak king, if your pieces are not coordinated, or if the queen is cooperating in a nice way with passers, with pass pawns.
மறக்காம சர்ப்ரைஸ் பண்ணுங்க. Thank you.